Welcome back to Mike's Lights and Studios. My name's Charl and a very interesting story that I want to share with you. Obviously something from the Bible, as this is what this whole channel pertains about, scripture and how we can explain life. You are still in the I Am studio with me. This is the studio which we broadcast from, the most deepest and happening music in the Christian music industry. Now, the story that I want to share with you this morning is found in the book of Kings. It's an old historical book in the Bible, the Second Kings book, and from chapter 5. Now we see that Naaman was a king of Israel, and he was very, very ill. He had leprosy. Now, leprosy was a common term used for a lot of diseases in the Old Testament. But this guy had leprosy, and his slave told him that he should go and see Elijah, who's the prophet in Israel. He should go and see him, and this guy would be able to heal him. He goes to see Elisha. Then Elisha doesn't even come out. Elisha sends his servant to go speak to him and say, go bathe in the river of Jordan 7 times. The interesting thing is, if you know the Middle Eastern context, and if you know the Middle Eastern social setup, it's very, very rude for you not to come out of your house if there's an authoritative figure visiting you, like the king, obviously. So the king is taken aback by this. The king is taken aback by Elisha not coming out and merely sending his servant, because he thought that he's royalty, when in actual fact is Elijah was royalty, because he was seen as a very, very peculiar man of God. But what I want to get to with this story is that the king Naaman then decided he's not going to do it. He'd rather just go back to his country, going to bathe in his rivers, because what's so special about the river of Jordan? And then one of his servants again asked him the question, said, Lord, why aren't you not doing this? Because what Elisha told you to do is not difficult. Was it something difficult he asked you to do? You most probably would have done it. And I find that very interesting, because I think we do that in our Christian context, in our walk with God, very, very often. We do exactly that. We want to do things for the Lord, but when He asks us the small things, take a cup of coffee to this person, go sit down with that person, ask them how they are. We don't want to do that, but we want to reach the millions of people in Bali. We want to plant plants all throughout Zimbabwe where it's dry, or we want to go and get water for the people in Mozambique, which is obviously also it's good things that we should do. But just do something, start somewhere. Do something for the Lord. It's exactly as He said. If He asked you something difficult, you would have done it. Do the small things. It's almost like the cliche saying, it might not feel like you're moving the world, but someone's world you are moving. And that's what we should do. And that's what I wanted to share this morning on Mike's Lights and Studios with you. Do the small things for God. And that will build and build and build until He's going to use you for the big things. From myself, Charl, have a blessed day further.